What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a spooktacular episode here of the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. I hope I'm coming nice and loud and clear. Tom is losing his mind back there. I hope you all are having a fantastic Wednesday. We're coming to you guys live from Illinois Media School in Lombard, Illinois. You okay back there?
Man, you have to go back and re-listen to this later.
Okay, cool.
You sound like a little chipmunk.
What's up?
You sound like a chipmunk.
I sound like a chipmunk?
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to have to lower my voice. So I hope you all... What's up?
I just coughed.
Okay. Again, I hope you all are going to have this is going to be a fun episode. It's already started out pretty well. Join with me, of course, is my co-host, my partner in crime, producing me for tonight. It's Mr. Tom McKinney. Tom, how are you doing today, man?
Well, I took the wrong graphic. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I was wondering what was in the bag. I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah, you know what's the problem, too? I think this thing might be stuck on my head now. This thing's a little snug, I can't lie.
Now you're going to work that way.
Yeah, this could be a very big problem. Well, we didn't do a mic check with this, ladies and gentlemen, so if I do sound weird, I apologize.
No, we didn't at all. I didn't expect you to have this.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting really to bring it up, but I hope you're all ready for this. I can't even see my computer, really, so this might be a bit of a problem here. But, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready for a fun one. Tom, you ready to do this?
Yeah, dude, I want to start out with something crazy real fast.
Go for it.
That literally was just broke, 2 minutes ago, if that.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Hamilton arrested on felony charge of injury to child.
Really?
Yeah. Former Texas Rangers All-Star Josh Hamilton was arrested Wednesday in Tarrant County, Texas, on suspicion of injury to child, a third-degree felony. According to arrest warrant, I don't even know how to say that, obtained by the Dallas Morning News, one of his daughters told authorities that Hamilton became upset about something, she said, then threw a water bottle at her, hitting her. The girl told authorities that he then pulled a chair out from under her and threw it at her. Hamilton then picked the girl up and carried her to the bedroom where he held her down with one hand and hit her legs with another, the girl said. Hamilton was booked and released on a $35,000 bond. Damn.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, for a guy that's had a troubled past before, I mean, you talk about some serious stuff there. Well, hopefully, everybody's okay. Obviously, this is a very serious issue, so Josh
I don't want to get too into it. I just want to drop that so everybody out there is aware what's going on. But, Jesus, come on.
Yeah, and again, for a guy that's had problems in the past, this is not good.
It's not surprising either.
No, it's not, and that's the sad part about it. This should have never happened in the first place. But to be yeah, who else would it have been? That's disappointing. That's very disappointing, definitely.
Yeah,
well, ladies and gentlemen, though, we're going to start this one off with some big news.
Are you done with the helmet? I can turn it off of me. You can take it off and put your glasses on.
What's up?
Are you done with the helmet?
No, I'll keep it on the whole show. Is it really that bad going through the mic?
A little bit, but people can see your eyes.
Can they?
Yeah.
Not anymore. I can kind of see actually out of this too, so.
All right, that sounds a little better.
I can keep it this way. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can. Is that
yeah, there you go.
There
you go. Yeah, maybe the mic was too far back.
All right. I just needed to move it a little bit closer. Sorry, everybody. All
Yeah,
right.
you sounded like a chipmunk.
Yeah, sorry about that. Well, look, man, I didn't know this thing was going to be a voice changer, too. All right, so I'm riding the helmet a little bit high, but I can still see out of it at least. So start off the big news for those who haven't heard. NCAA making it
about dang time. Now
Has made
bring back college football video game.
Well, we'll get into that here in a little bit here soon. So, yes, NCAA has officially made it known through its top decision makers. They took a vote and unanimously have decided that they are going to start the procedures to change the rules for how college players can go about making money through their likeness and their names. Now, this is a big step forward, obviously, and this is the type of thing that we've been wanting to hear for quite some time. But obviously, this also now brings up a bunch of big questions, too, and there's been a lot of controversy on this as well. Primarily in the fact that the biggest thing has been this is also coming off the heels of the fact that you have California, who signed in the Fair Pay for Play Act, to go into effect in 2023. You have the North Carolina representative who is trying to make the push to put it into effect that all players across the entire nation in all sports can use their name and likeness to go get endorsements and not be, stopped in any way,
Well,
shape,
this
or
is something
form.
that I've always said is why aren't we setting up a bank account for these guys? Why aren't we teaching them financial stability so
Right.
when these guys, quote unquote, like Tua Tagovailoa gets drafted, he first off has a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
Second off, knows how to save his money properly.
Yeah.
Now, granted, that's not for every guy that gets drafted.
Right.
That's more for anybody who out there is a dummy and doesn't know how to save his money. Allen Robertson, you're one of them. I don't know if you've ever seen that 30 for 30, but Jesus, man, how many athletes have gone broke?
Oh, the 30 for I love the 30 for 30 broke one.
Because think about it this way: if these guys were able to cash in their likeness back in the day, especially like Robert Griffin III,
Yeah.
excuse me, and everything like that, then you're looking at those guys who got hurt and are going to be able to still live a little bit. Or the Michigan State quarterback that was in Oakland, Connor Cook or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Like he made a little bit of money before he got drafted. He's not making money right now. He's probably working a 9-to-5 job somewhere. I don't know.
Well,
if
right now he's gonna go be playing in the the XFL.
Oh, he's playing in the XFL now?
Yeah.
Okay.
If that even does come to finality, I mean, obviously, still a ways to go before the season starts. But no, look, this decision comes great, but at the same time, I think that this is something because I've been hearing it a lot. Like this is fantastic that the NCAA is finally saying, okay, we need to do something about it. But I heard Jay Billis say it. I've heard a lot of others say it. It feels like a lot of smoke and mirrors. Like the NCAA is going to make these rules to stall and kind of try and find ways so that they can still control this thing so that they can get the players in the position where they want them to. You know what I mean? Like this is just a ploy to just kind of say, okay, we're going to set things up so that
So you're saying this is just another way of controlling athletes?
that's what I'm not fully there yet because you know me, I like to look at both sides on this thing, but I can understand where these guys are coming from because I look at it and I can say, you know what, the NCAA, because you say it, NCAA is a lot shadier than FIFA.
Yeah.
And FIFA was a racket.
FIFA's still a racket.
It still is a racket, but and I stand by with you on that too. Like NCAA is terrible with the way they treat
Like if
these
I would
players.
if we were to deal with if one of these two companies, and I call the NCAA a company because it is,
Yeah.
were to come and approach us and be like, we want to endorse you, we want to send you to every college football game that we can, every big game, we want to send you the national championship, we want to send you to every national championship that we could possibly do, especially both Final Fours, men's and women's, the college football playoff championships, and both at least one or two playoff games.
Right.
And you guys can interview who you want, do what you want. And FIFA said, we're going to send you to the World Cup. We'll help send you to the Olympics. We're going to send you to UEFA. We're going to send you to this. We're going to send you that. I'm going FIFA.
Yeah. And I don't. Look, it's kind of like a pick your poison at that point, but honestly, I'd go with the one that's going to kill me, I think, a little bit quicker at that point. Or not quicker, I think I should say, but it won't hurt as less. Let's say that. Because the NCAA is painfully bad, right? This is an organization that goes to say it's a nonprofit, right? They say they're a nonprofit, but yet they make billions upon billions of dollars off of the multiple sports that they endorse. Like it is a ridiculous situation that they pose in this. I mean, and to me, it just feels like there's a very good chance that the NCAA is just doing this so that this way they can say, now we can structure the rules the way that we want them to so that players can be limited only by so much that they can make, right? They're only going to be able to make so much money. They're only going to be able to take certain endorsements from certain companies, right? They're going to limit their possibilities where the Congression, Congress and all of them, they're trying to say, no, don't limit their options. Let them do whatever they want. Go for whatever you want. You want to go with Nike? Go with Nike. You don't have to. You shouldn't be controlled to go in one lane.
Well, I can understand that sponsorship-wise, like,
Right.
because, like, you're playing for a school, they already have their sponsors. Like, you're going to go play at Michigan, they're already sponsored by Jordan Brand. Oklahoma's sponsored by Jordan Brand.
Right.
You're going to go play at Oregon, you're playing at Oregon because you want to play for Nike.
Right.
You're going to play at Notre Dame. You're playing with Under Armour, like.
Right.
And I have no problem with Under Armour. Honestly, Under Armour stepped their game up way nicer than most people think.
No, but that's the thing is, like, I mean, if a kid has a better chance of making more money at another brand, you know, do you really want to limit that kid's possibilities because you want to enforce the fact that, oh, we're only strictly one thing? You know, that's where a lot of this controversy comes to. You know, like the NFL had that problem so many years ago because it's like, you know, oh, you can't wear anything Adidas because
They still
weren't
have
being
that
sponsored.
problem.
What?
They still have that problem.
Yeah, they do. They still have that issue.
Because guys
going
can't
on.
even wear Beats off like the bus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They have to be wearing Bose.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I don't like Bose headphones. I
Yeah,
don't like Beats headphones for that matter.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of either one of them. But it is kind of ridiculous that like it's headphones, dude. But I mean, this
No
is part
fun.
of that issue. This is kind of that start of it starts from here and maybe it climbs upward. But obviously, I mean, look, this could be a big situation. This could be big. This could change a lot. And I do want to say, you know, props to the college athletes too. And I say this for evolving strong. And a lot of people might wonder what I mean by that. But you think about it, like college athletes now, they're
realize it started
talking
here in
more about
Illinois.
this than ever. And they've been a big part of the change. Like so much. Like
You realize this basically all started in Illinois.
no, yeah, and I mean the bulk of like the strong movement of it really did kind of start here in the
Northwestern.
state. Yeah, because you had Carter over there as the quarterback who was talking about unionizing,
And they did
that's
for a
where
little
this thing
bit.
started. Yeah, I mean this has been talked about for years. Don't get me wrong. This has been talked about for decades and decades and decades before that even happened. But that was really the kind of big push that they said, look, we want to unionize, and they won that case. And then obviously that kind of deteriorated because
They didn't get the support.
exactly they lost a lot of support.
The school didn't support them, and that's where I think it's going to hurt a lot of athletes.
When that's the other thing too is the athletes also. There was a lot of athletes that were like, I don't really know how I feel about Northwestern doing that. Like they weren't really sure. Now you talk to these athletes and they were like, oh yeah, we should have done that years ago. You know, so I give a lot of props to the athletes for making the change, and that's where, you know, I give my opinion on this thing, and that's where I say, like, this whole thing with the NCAA, why is this happening? This is happening because they're afraid that they're going to die off.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, what we always talked about, when there's more competition out there, people get afraid, and if they're afraid to change, then they're going to die off. If you don't change and adapt, you're going to get killed off.
Yeah.
It happened to the dinosaurs. It's happened to numerous animals in the past. It's going to happen to the NCAA if they do not make the changes. But I'm afraid the changes they're going to make are going to still be not harmful, let's say, but they're going to limit the
Well,
athletes'
look at it this
abilities.
way. Look at it this way. These student athletes aren't getting any money whatsoever.
Right.
Yet,
Except for the stipends or whatever it is they get.
yeah, they get like $1,000 a month.
Something like that.
But look at like students, regular students, they get money because they're going out on field research. Like
Right.
that's to help their career. And you know they're pocketing some of that money. They're not using all of it, but most of that money is for them to go out and spend. And they're getting what, $50,000 to go do something?
Oh, yeah.
For some research project. Yet a college athlete who is literally working towards bettering his career is getting paid $1,000 just for a month.
Yeah.
Like that's like you and me. Like I would love $1,000. No.
That
no,
would be great for me, honest. I mean, I'd like more, but
yeah,
you know.
I don't know if I could live off $1,000, but you know.
If I played the cards right, I probably could.
Yeah, I mean if I really did try, but
Yeah.
it's a little difficult.
Right.
But,
But no, it's you're right. I mean, it is. But that's the other thing too is that, you know, obviously for every athlete, they're not going to have a career. You know, like that's a big thing about it too
Yeah.
is that not every athlete is obviously going to go pro. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities out there now, but it's still a difficult situation. But this is where the NCAA, they have to make. If they're going to make these changes, make them the right changes. Don't just make the changes because you don't like the fact that somebody's muscling to your territory.
yeah.
And it's the U.S. government that's deciding we can make this a law and allow these kids to be able to make money. I mean, that's the right way to go about this. We've been doing this for far too long. Let these kids use their image and likeness to go make money. Let them do it. What's the problem? I don't understand why they're so... I mean, I understand because they're afraid they're going to be killed off. They're afraid of extinction. They're afraid the NCAA is going to fall apart if this happens. If every state decides to let this happen, then they're afraid. Well, then that's the end of us. Or at least that's going to limit their possibilities.
It's not gonna. I don't know why they're afraid of extinction. It doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, just change. How hard is it to change? Look, change can be hard, yes, but when you make the change, it can be for the better, right? It can be for the better. Think about the possibilities that this might be able to provide for your schools, for the athletes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of benefits that can come from them. Now, there's a lot of harm that can come from this too. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of bad things that can go down from this, but there's benefits to this too, and you have to weigh those on. And right now, it's looking like I think it's the better thing because what are the schools supposed to be benefiting more than anything? The kids, not just themselves, the kids. Seriously. But honestly, NCAA at least making this step forward, making the announcement, it's great. But at least for me, I say for myself, I have to say for myself, I can't speak for Tom.
Bring back the game.
Yeah, for myself, I say I think it's a nice step forward. But obviously, yes, EA has also said that they are welcoming the idea of bringing back college video game sports. So you've got NCAA football, NCAA basketball.
Baseball.
They've also opened the door potentially for bringing in other sports as well,
Lacrosse.
such as what's up?
Give it lacrosse.
They've
would sell
said so they
huge.
listed a bunch of sports teams. They said they would possibly do lacrosse for you yourself, man. I know you love it. Hockey possibly. I also think
Down.
I also think they said they possibly look into. Yeah, I know you would. I knew
If
you'd
I
like
could
that.
play as Notre Dame.
But they said they would bring in other sports, obviously, to kind of, cover the field because there's a lot of sports out there for everybody.
Softball. I'd be down for some softball.
Softball,
Hell
college
yeah.
baseball, bring it back. I mean, I can't wait. Yeah, NCAA football, NCAA college sports. Let's go. Make it a bundle.
Hey, I call being commentary. Just put me on it. I'm down. I'm down.
We do.
Yay.
We'll do the
You
commentary
looking
for
for
you
a
guys.
guy? I got you right here. There's two of us.
We got you guys all the way. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think about the NCAA and all these changes. Obviously, this is a big moment. As the news progresses on with this, obviously, we'll carry it forward. There's going to be a lot. This is going to take a while, obviously. So, but I like the progression. Let's say that. And bring back the video games, please.
Yeah.
I'm getting sick and tired of playing 14. That's all I'm saying, man. I can't keep making 4-year college kids. That's all. I'm running out of memory. All right, moving. All right, so away from college, or not moving away from college, but speaking about these college athletes, obviously you have college football, ladies and gentlemen. That's right.
Boo.
Tom boos because unfortunately this past week was a little bit of a rough
I
one.
don't want to talk about it.
So I'm just gonna have to do it. Is that
No.
it? I know you're gonna talk about it regardless.
I'm going to mute your mic.
Don't you dare.
Watch me.
Yeah, I know. All right, so obviously week 9, week 10, we're going to go through this. We're going to break down what happened during this game. So I've got a breakdown of the top 25. Kind of got them written out. Obviously, Tom will give his bowl projections, and then we'll kind of go through the week's top games. So the top 4, obviously, for the ones that are looking, there was a little bit of a shakeup, which I'm pretty happy about as an LSU fan myself. The LSU Tigers officially number 1, and it's about time. After
It won't last.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Are they playing this weekend?
Nobody. They got to bye.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What a joke.
We got to bye before Alabama. So.
What a joke.
Which kind of stinks because Alabama's quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is still a maybe game time decision by next week. So I don't know if he will be ready by then, but I'm guessing all signs point to yes. But boy, is that going to be a fun game. But LSU's at number 1, Alabama's at number 2, Ohio State's at 3, and Clemson as at 4. I mean, look, again, yeah, I'm an LSU fan, but honestly, when you've played 3 teams in the top 25 and you've been able to win in all 3 of those games, they beat Texas, they beat Florida, and then putting out a really nice showcase against Auburn. Really held that game close to the chest, but they still played a really good game against them. I mean, I give them. I say, yeah, I think they should be number 1. Absolutely. Over Alabama, by far, yeah. Now, if Alabama beats us, yeah, we go down to, I'd say, 3 or 4.
No, get out of here.
What? If we lose to Alabama, really? We're going to drop 5
If you guys
spots?
get blown out by Alabama, you deserve to drop 30.
If we get blown out by Alabama, no, we're not dropping 30. That's just your
Drop
anger
out
and
of the
bias, and you
rankings.
just want to make me angry.
It's dropping out of the rankings.
No, not going to
Yeah.
happen. Not going to happen.
Should.
But I think it's going to be a good game. So, yeah, the top four, that's your top four there. Now, numbers 5 through 12, obviously there was a couple of shakeups there themselves. So we'll look at those too while I try and pan down so I can see through this freaking helmet. So you got Penn State that moved up one spot to number 5. They're the only other undefeated team in the top 10 right now. Then you've got number 6, Florida. They moved up one spot. Oregon was able to pull out a nice victory against Washington State, and they were able to move up one spot. So they moved now to number 7. Then you've got Georgia at number 8. They moved up 2 spots. Or Oregon, moved up 4 spots. Georgia moved up 2 spots to number 8. Utah moved up 3 spots to number 9. And then, of course, pièce de résistance was Oklahoma losing to Kansas State in a 48-41, incredible game. Kansas State just controlled that game from the second half and never let it go. Oklahoma certainly went on a downward spiral. I don't know what happened to that team, but they fall all the way to number 10. They dropped 5 spots from the rankings. Number 11 being Auburn, they dropped 2 after losing their second game of the season against LSU. And then you've got Baylor, who was able to win their game to stay undefeated. They are now 7-0, and they sit 2 spots up at number 12. Now you got the rest of them at number 15, at number 13. Minnesota's still undefeated at 8-0. They've moved up 4 spots now from that. And this is where things might get a little loud. It are going to get loud. Number 14, Michigan
That makes
Wolverines.
no sense. Absolutely, positively no sense.
Number 14, Michigan Wolverines. They've moved up 5 spots to number 14 after a 45-24 win against Tom's very own Notre Dame.
Makes no sense. Absolutely
It was a
no.
big win.
It doesn't matter.
It was a big win, man.
It doesn't matter because look at it this way. Georgia lost to South Carolina when they were ranked, 3rd? To an unranked team,
Yeah.
and they dropped to 10. Oklahoma loses to an unranked team at 4, and they dropped to 10. How does Notre Dame, who was 8, drop 8 spots to 16? That makes no sense to me. Michigan was still ranked.
I don't know, man. You're asking.
Explain that to me, though. Explain to me. I understand it was a blowout, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
But again, Oklahoma was blown out by Kansas State.
Mm-hmm.
They were blown out.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I understand.
How does that make any sense? But you know what it does? You know how it makes sense? It's because this is a stupid AP polls biased against Notre Dame. This is everybody's biased against Notre Dame because Notre Dame doesn't play anybody. Because Notre Dame never goes out and isn't in a conference, and they'll never join a conference because they will never need to join a conference. And here's why they will never need to join a conference. Because they make too much money playing on NBC. And they make too much money playing on there. I don't think people understand. They make about $2 billion playing all their home games. Doesn't matter if it's day, night, raining, sunshine. Who cares? On NBC. They're going to keep playing on NBC. They'll never join the ACC like the ACC commissioner thinks they will. And because of that, the ACC wishes that football would be there for Notre Dame because they want to make that money from Notre Dame. But Notre Dame doesn't want to have to pay their money, lose money for them joining the ACC football-wise because they'll lose so much money. You realize that football stadium looks beautiful. Andrew was there last year. He says it was beautiful. And not only that, they put money into the hockey arena. They put money into their baseball fields with that money. They put money in from that to their basketball team. Now that the basketball's got the ACC deal, they're not going to be getting that money because they got to split it. Notre Dame doesn't have to split their TV deal with anybody. They're splitting it with themselves. They're rich. They're rich. Alabama wishes they were like that. Ooh, Alabama's good. Alabama doesn't play anybody. Alabama goes down and just plays down teams down south. Who the hell is Clemson playing this week? Clemson's playing Wofford. I hope Wofford whoops Clemson. This is ridiculous. Notre Dame's schedule is one of the toughest schedules. Now, granted, yes, it looked weak this year because everybody they had in their schedule was terrible, and they don't know how to win. Michigan looked awful this year. Granted, yeah, they won. Everybody goes, oh, they won, yeah. Who cares? They still almost lost to U of I. They lost to, who did they lose to? They lost to Penn State the week before. Couldn't even make the comeback. Notre Dame goes out and they lose to Georgia. They lose to Michigan, and they're dropped out of the top 10. Fine by me. Drop them out of the top 10. But to drop them to 16 after being ranked and lost to a ranked opponent, that is ridiculous. That is such a joke on the NCAA, and that is such a joke on the AP top 10.
You okay, buddy?
I don't want to talk about it.
See, ladies and gentlemen, that's Tom not talking about it. That's
But tell me I'm wrong.
no. Look, I'll say this, man. I think they should have fallen at least to 11, maybe 12.
Thank you. That's all
11
I'm
or
saying.
12. To say you go from 16, I mean, look, this Michigan team, they had them set in an even, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's remember that. They had them in an even when it came to the
Here's
plus
the other
minus.
issue. It's not like this was a Michigan team that was unranked.
Yeah.
This team was ranked 19th. That is still top 20.
Yeah.
And then you're going to drop Georgia, who lost to a terrible South Carolina team in Athens, Georgia,
Yeah.
and drop them from 4 to 10. And then
Yeah.
you're going to drop Oklahoma from 4 to 10 after losing in Kansas State
Yeah.
to an unranked, terrible Kansas State team.
I'm
blown out
Yeah.
in Kansas State.
The only thing I can say that would be able to explain it, I think, is the fact that when you look at like the Georgia's, I mean, it's still a loss nonetheless. You're right, to an unranked team, and that should count for something in a harsh way, I think. But but I think they look at that score and they say, well, they only lost by 7, and like in Oklahoma's case, they only lost by 7 too.
Doesn't
You know?
matter.
No, and I agree with that. But that's the thing is I think they look at that and say, well, they didn't lose by much. They could have still won that game, where I think a lot of people look at that score between Notre Dame and Michigan, and I bet the committee probably looked at it and said, well, Michigan should have kept that game closer, which, you know, to some degree.
I would rather my team get blown out than go in and lose by 7. I'd rather my team look terrible and get blown out than lose by a touchdown or a field goal.
I don't know about
And
that.
I've been there plenty of times. I was there this weekend.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side of that, but I mean,
But think about it. Think about it.
I-
You're telling me you would rather your team lose by a touchdown or 7 points or 3 points or 2 points or a point, and you'll feel better about that.
I mean,
because
it's
your team's going to be ranked better.
I mean, it's gonna suck regardless, but because of how I know, because I think that's how this thing kind of plays out when we talk about the rankings. Like, let's say Alabama goes against, LSU goes against Alabama next week, right? And let's say LSU loses by like a field goal, okay? It's gonna suck, yes. I'm gonna probably beat myself up about it as a fan, but at the same time, I'm gonna be like, well, it was only a 3-point loss, so I don't think they're gonna fall too far off.
But because they're in the SEC, it's not going to hurt them.
Right, but
That's my whole
Here's the
argument.
thing: if Alabama blew us out like 48-0, then I would be, you know, it still hurts too. But that's when I know we're gonna drop probably out of the top 4, and we're gonna fall into like the top 10 then.
But see, for Georgia's sake, you
Right.
literally lost to a terrible South Carolina team in your home stadium.
Right.
That should count for way more than anything. Where in
Yeah.
Athens, Georgia is supposed to be such a top-tier stadium and is supposed to be a very disadvantage for visiting teams, clearly wasn't a disadvantage for visiting teams.
Right.
Michigan almost lost to Army. Yeah, big deal. Michigan almost lost to U of I. Michigan's terrible. I want people out there to know Michigan's terrible. And I'm going to get into why Michigan's terrible here in a little bit when we finally go into that.
Yeah.
But for this whole thing, for them to drop from 8 to 16 is absolutely ridiculous, and it has to do with the fact that they won't ever join a conference.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very strong possibility. I mean, the NCAA seems to have some sort of problem with non-conferences. I don't know what it is, but
Sorry, they make too much money, and they're not going to give that up. Boo-hoo.
I mean,
Alabama
look,
wants to make more money. Go sign a TV deal with someone.
yeah. Well, I mean, look, to finish this one off, I mean, you got SMU, Southern Methodist. They moved up 1 spot, still undefeated at 8-0. Believe it or not, first time
Barely.
ever since the '80s. So, I mean, SMU's got a really good chance possibly of flying into the top 10 if they can stay undefeated. Believe it or not.
No.
I think it's possible. I mean, they're rising up pretty quickly. Then you have, obviously, as Tom said, Notre Dame. They dropped 8 spots. I do agree, though. I think it is a little ridiculous. Again, I was thinking maybe like 12 when I saw they moved down to 16. I was like, ouch, that's a bad one. And then underneath them, obviously, you have Cincinnati. They were able to move up 1 spot to 17. Wisconsin dropped down 5 spots after taking that loss to Ohio State. 5 spots to number 18. Iowa moved up 1 spot to 19. And then Appalachian State, still undefeated at 7-0, moving up to number 20. So that's the top 20 there. And then finally, to finish it off, what I call the final five, because I just like that, and I think that's pretty cool for the last teams in there. Let's see who's kind of joined in the final five. By the way, any team that has an N before its number ranking is the new teams in on the top 25. So there you guys have it. You got Boise State at number 21. They were able to move up one spot. I forgot to put in Kansas State. They've moved into the new rankings as well at number 22. So congratulations to Kansas State for joining the team. Now you have Wake Forest in at number 23. They moved up 2 spots. And the newest members, along with Kansas State, are number 24 Memphis and number 25 San Diego State.
You realize Memphis has got SMU this weekend, right?
Yes, no, I do. And that's one of the top games that we're gonna make our decisions on. So for the week. But yeah, guys, that's your top 25. It's cooking up right now. We're getting towards the end, right? I mean, we're almost towards the end here. So these rankings now are more important than ever, and we're seeing a lot of teams now taking some serious losses that they cannot afford to have. So things are really going to cook up this week. This is a big week for a lot of teams. It's like rivalry week for quite a few teams out there. So, Tom, you want to give us the bowl projections, my man?
Yeah, I got you. So in PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, Banaguru has Clemson versus Alabama, and Schlabach has Clemson versus Ohio State. Mm-hmm. Then one's got the Banagaru's got Alabama winning, and Schlabach's got Ohio State winning that game. In the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, both have LSU. Banaguru has LSU versus Ohio State. Schlabach has LSU versus Alabama. Now I understand these this is bowl projections. Like, this isn't going to really happen. Yeah. But again, that SEC bias is starting to irritate me, and it's not just me. I don't know about you, but there are plenty of people out there that is sick and tired of the SEC.
I mean, look, I support an SEC team, but I understand it at the same time. I mean, look, if Alabama and LSU find a way to play for the national championship like they did back
then there's a corruption there.
There's a big issue there for the NCAA, because that game, while exciting as I loved it, I thought it was great. It never should have happened. It never should have happened. But, no, I agree. I can understand where a lot of people are upset with it.
You either put in – if you're going to put 2 teams from the same conference in there, then there's something wrong with that. It should literally be the 4 best schools. And if that means that you're having to leave out an LSU or an Alabama, a one-loss team who only lost to either Alabama or LSU – like, if LSU only losses to Alabama, and you have to leave them out to put Oregon in, who is a conference champion, or Oklahoma or Texas or whoever wins.
State.
What?
Or Penn State.
Or Penn State or Ohio State.
If Penn State stays undefeated, I would not.
Well, I'm saying one school from each conference, right, unless you get in the situation where Notre Dame is undefeated and goes in and is like, all right, well, they are the best, one of the 4 best teams.
Right.
They deserve to be where they're at. Yeah. So that's my whole irritation. But then in the championship game, both have Ohio State versus Alabama.
Okay.
And once again, I understand it's all stupid. It's projections, whatever. We have fun with it. Mm-hmm. But when I see shit like this, I get really irritated.
No, I like I said, it's understandable because, I mean, look, the SEC, obviously, Alabama's been a crying thing on this, but it's getting tiring. I can understand.
It's not even that.
It's getting predictable.
But you go in the last 5 weeks, you've had Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl, or one of them's got Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
Fine by me. I'll play in the Cotton Bowl. Now because they have two. Now that they have 2 losses, you're dropping them out of the Cotton Bowl and you're putting them in the Camping World Bowl against Kansas State.
Yeah, that's not as
like
good
how could you possibly do that? Something that I keep saying and I keep telling people, especially U of I fans out there, keep an eye on. U of I is not far from being bowl eligible.
They're 4-4 right now.
And as of right now, Banaguru has them in the Red Box Bowl. Unfortunately, if this does happen, this matchup, they'll probably lose. It's Stanford versus U of I. There's no chance that they're winning that game.
Stanford's got a lot of power.
Schlabach doesn't have any faith in U of I as of right now that I see. Oh, actually, I take that back. In the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Illinois versus Air Force.
That's not bad. I think they can win that game, maybe.
The only upside is that they have I just saw it. Schlierbach has Michigan in the San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl against Washington. So, like, for me, that, like, it makes it a little better, but the ranking is still what's irritating me the most. And the fact that the SEC gets all this love when they don't come up here and play anybody in the middle of this weather that we are going through right now. Like, I understand 2025 Notre Dame and Alabama are playing each other in a home and home, so I think it's 2025, 2026. But they're going to be playing in, like, August or September. I want to see Alabama come up here in October, November and play us. Right before
that
LSU.
would be interesting.
Right before LSU, where it is 30. What is it? It's 35 degrees out right now.
I hope they get frostbite then.
Like,
If they get frostbite, then it looks better for LSU.
because I went to, for everybody out there, when Notre Dame played the University of Miami, the U, not Miami, Ohio, but the U, at Soldier Field in their Shamrock Series game in October. It was like October 30th. It was the beginning of October. Not that cold for us. I was in a light jacket, jeans. I had some gloves on because we're right off the lake. I had a winter hat on again, right off the lake. So it was a little chilly, and we sat up high. But the University of Miami had to have heaters.
Oh, yeah.
And they had long sleeves. Notre Dame, Manti Te'o. That was Manti Te'o's year, too, for everybody out there. Comes out. Man's from Hawaii. Comes out shirtless for warm-ups. Like...
His invisible girlfriend was on him.
Shut up. I'm going to hit you.
Come on. That was an easy one. No, I'm just kidding.
But for everybody out there who thinks that Alabama and the SEC is all high and mighty, and same with the Big 12 and the rest of the ACC, because forget, Notre Dame does have to play ACC teams now. They have to play 5 a year.
Yeah.
They're just not going to join a conference football-wise. I want to see these schools. I want to see Clemson come up here. Ask Florida State fans how they were last year. Ask Florida State how they played last year up here in Notre Dame. What was it, November?
Yeah, it was freezing cold.
Like, but for you and me, it was like, it's not that bad. It was just wet.
Well, I mean, I
was
won't
just
say
wet.
it didn't get worse as the night blew on, but
Yeah, but it was just wet. That was the problem.
Yeah, that was a problem. It was cold and wet.
I mean, my mom and I we went to the year they went undefeated in 2012. My mom and I were at Wake Forest Notre Dame for senior night, and it was beautiful out. But then we went to Navy Notre Dame game and sat in about the same seats, and it, like, misted, drizzled the whole game, and it was miserable.
Ugh, yeah.
But, like, that's what football is.
Right.
Like, how many times did we play football in the cold? I loved it.
When
I thrived in it.
I'll tell you guys right now, when me and Tom were juniors, he played for Lombard East, I played for Lombard North. We played in a game called the Mud Bowl.
Yeah, we did.
A famous game actually here in Illinois now.
You might have, but I didn't.
Well, yeah, I got in for one play.
I wasn't big enough for that, yet I still somehow had mud on me.
Everybody did. But we played in a famous game here in Illinois called the Mud Bowl. It's like one of the
East.
Yeah, at East.
It was our homecoming.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't your. Oh
yeah, it was
right,
our homecoming.
Your homecoming. And it was. I mean, that was probably the most fun. I only went in for like a series, but that was the most fun I ever had.
Yeah.
Being able to play in that game.
They almost didn't play the sophomore game.
Yeah, which was wow. I would have loved that.
They almost didn't play the sophomore game because they didn't want to ruin the field so much for varsity.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? I loved it nonetheless. I mean, because that's what football's all about. And even at the end of the day, I still remember going over there to the East guys, and they were like, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot. Because that was a close game, and that was a lot of fun.
Man, some of these guys that I played with post pictures and stuff of that game, and they're just, it's caked.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know how my mom got my jersey and stuff cleaned.
That's the thing. Well, I'll tell you right now, my parents were so mad. They're like, really? You couldn't? Because we were wearing white. I remember. So that was...
Yeah, but what were your practice pants? Were your practice pants white?
I think our practice pants were not white. They were black.
See, our practice pants were white, and being a wide receiver...
You guys did have those white pants.
Me being a wide receiver... So our game pants were black, our practice pants were white. But me being a wide receiver, every time it would rain or it was sort of muddy or gross out, we would do the sideline drill where you got to keep your feet in and dive.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was the type of guy that would always be like, Coach, throw it out a little bit farther. I got this. And I'm the one laying out while everybody else is like, no, I can't get dirty.
Yeah.
I'd bring my pants home to my mom, and my mom would go, okay, and get them white again. And I'd bring them back to practice the next day, and my coach would be like, how? I'd be like, I don't know. My mom's a genius. She's a wizard.
Yeah, but
she's a witch. My mom's a witch. I half think my mom's a witch in that sense.
No, that's live on That's live on the internet now.
Hey, in a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way,
yes. But no, that's for us. That's how football was. I mean, if it's either cold and wet and muddy and rainy, or it's hot as ever and
And
sunshiny out.
the other thing is for everybody out there who
Or
goes,
snowing.
that goes, oh well, like Nick Saban complains about how Michigan goes over season plays,
Yeah.
like what during the summer. Well, how about you guys actually not play outside like you're not supposed to?
Yeah.
Because there is an NCAA rule that says these guys, even down south, are not allowed to play outside or practice outside during the summer. They have to practice indoors
Right.
during the winter, indoors. It's only a certain part until I think spring practice. When they do their scrimmages, they're allowed like 2 weeks outside.
Yes.
And then they're allowed to play outside for the spring game, and then they have to be back inside for a few more weeks until they can go back outside.
Yes,
but,
and they're officially released
but
to the practice fields.
Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Clemson, LSU, they're all practicing outside when they can during the winter, when Notre Dame and everybody is inside having to have temperature-controlled buildings for the cold winter that we have because it's way too cold to play outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, whatever. Let's go to the next thing.
Yeah. But no, yeah. So is that all the bowls you got?
Oh, yeah, there's not a whole lot I want to get into because I'm off my phone, so it's hard to scroll.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get into guys, we're gonna finish this one up, and we're gonna get into this week's matchups. So here we are. It's the Week 10 matchups for you, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll break down through these. These are some of the top games. I wasn't able to get all of them. I forgot a few of them. Sorry. But if you remember them, Tom, bring them up at the end. Is that cool?
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's fan through these. All right. First up, I thought this one was interesting because it's Georgia Southern, who's kind of been known as a team who's been a little bit of an upset type of. They're always kind of a good team against Appalachian State, who's undefeated, right? Number 20 in the country. They've really been a very shocking team.
Appalachian State.
Appalachian State.
Yeah.
What are you feeling? They're 15.5-point favorites, so you think they'll cover that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say Appalachian State. I'm gonna say I think they can absolutely do away with Georgia Southern by 20. But honestly, I wouldn't put it past Georgia Southern. They always seem to come with some of the best. And again, Dom's always said that triple option stuff can be very scary, and that's what Georgia Southern's got on their side.
More
So
weeks.
does Appalachian State too.
Two more weeks.
Yeah, it's this is the battle of triple options. So
2 more weeks, and I got to deal with that.
If you haven't seen Navy versus Army, that's exactly what this is. It's like a miniature version of that.
Or Navy versus Notre Dame anytime. Only time Notre Dame's out Navy was last year.
There you go. All right. So next. Yep, we got Miami versus Florida State. This is the classic matchup. This is
It's
the
actually
one.
going to be a good game.
This should be a good game. Florida State's viewed right now by what is it?
3.
I have there 3 points. Okay, I
Yeah.
can't see it because of this thing. By the way, this mask is starting to smell like coffee, which is really weird, and I'm hoping I'm not inhaling some kind of toxins.
Huh? Well, Andrew's dying.
Yeah, but Florida State was able to beat Syracuse last week pretty relatively easily. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, Florida State's back." I don't think so.
No,
I
Florida
think they
State's
got
not
a
gonna
long
be
ways
back.
to go. They look better. I'll say that.
They don't look at anything.
Yeah. See, they even bored Tom to death.
Well, yeah, because Florida State fans don't have class. Ooh.
Ooh, meanwhile, you got
Just
Miami.
kidding, Andrew, if you're watching. I actually respect you, but everybody else, boo. Florida State
Jeez.
stinks.
Miami, meanwhile, that was a good game against Pitt. I mean, that last second touchdown pass by Jaron Williams, it was a really good pass. So I like Miami for this one, actually, for the upset. I'm gonna say Miami by a touchdown. I'm gonna go with the U.
I'm going, what is it, Florida State by 3? Yeah, I'll go Florida State by 3.
Okay, all right. You just want to break Fahey's heart, or is that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
God, I hate Fahey.
Right, I figured on that. All right, next. North Carolina State versus number 23, Wake Forest. The only reason I picked this one is because NC State sometimes can come up with a upset every now and then. I know
Wake
they
Forest by
lost.
3.
What's up?
Wake Forest by 3.
Wake Forest by 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't even have them covering the whole way. All right.
No.
Interesting. Yeah, Wake Forest came off a pretty tight one against North Carolina, but they're right now.
You have Wake Forest beat Florida State 22-20.
Do I have that?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I screwed that up.
Come on.
I don't. If hold on, let me check that again. Nope, they did beat Florida State. I was wrong.
So
All
you're
right,
wrong on your other one. You said FSU won versus Syracuse. So what happened?
Yeah, I
Did
think
the
I got
B team go play Syracuse?
I think I got the dates a little mixed up. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's my bad. That is my bad, everybody. But I'm gonna say Wake Forest. I'm gonna say Wake Forest by 13 on this one. But NC State never look past them. They might be able to upset. You never know.
All right,
All right, next.
Notre Dame by 1,000 next.
Hold on. Notre Dame's got the 17-point favorite. Honestly, I think they should be able to win this one easily by a good 24 points. Virginia Tech looks good, but I don't think they're that good. I know
You
they
have it
won
on
their-
here twice.
What's up?
You have Notre Dame, Virginia Tech on here twice.
Do I have them really?
Yeah.
Oh, then I guess I didn't change one of those things. All right, Notre Dame, I think, is going to be able to win this game fairly easily. Again, Virginia Tech, they got a good team, but I don't think they're going to have that
Notre
good of
Dame's
a
out for
team.
blood.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I think they're ready to kill, and I think you'll see a really good game come out of Ian Book and Komet, really. All right, next. So you got
Georgia.
the first big match. This is probably, I think, the biggest matchup of the week. Georgia, number 8.
But
versus
again, two
number 6
SEC
Florida.
teams. You have 4 SEC teams ranked in the top 10.
Yes.
God, what a joke.
Georgia was able to come out with a win against Kentucky in a blowout, and then you have Florida, who was also able to come out with a victory as well against South Carolina, which was kind of
Two
tight for a while
trash
there.
teams.
Yeah, two very easy teams to be able to beat. So honestly, Georgia having
Flip a coin, who
favorite,
cares?
I'm gonna. Oh my God, I'm gonna go Georgia. I just think Georgia's got a better offense. I know Florida's defense is really good, but I'm gonna say Georgia. I think goes on and wins that game. And I'm gonna say I think it's like a 6-point game. I think it's right in that spot. What do you say, Tom?
Flip a coin, I don't care.
If you could choose one.
Stadium collapse.
All right, Tom chooses the stadium wins it all. All right, next. All right, so you have number 22, Kansas State against Kansas. Now, this is the rivalry, obviously.
Kansas State.
Kansas State's coming off a big win against Oklahoma. I mean, that was incredible. I couldn't believe we were at your house when that game was.
No, we were here.
Oh, no, we were here when that game was happening. That's right. We were here when that game was happening, and I didn't believe what Tom was saying until I turned around and looked at the score and I went, oh, my God. I couldn't believe it. Kansas was able to win off a great victory against Texas Tech. That was a great game. That was a really good game. Les Miles was able to get a nice last-second victory, but I'm going to go Kansas State. I think they're riding high. I think they can be able to take this one, and honestly, I think they do a lot more damage. I'm saying 14-point difference on this one.
Yep, next.
All right. Number 9, Utah against Washington. I think Washington can actually upset Utah. I know Utah's offense is really good right now, and I know their defense is actually kind of on point at this spot. But I think Washington's kind of ripe for the kill, right? They just lost a tight one to Oregon. They should have probably won that game, but Oregon found a way to be able to stampede back.
Oregon did what Oregon does.
Exactly. And, dude, that kid,
No
Justin
ducks.
Herbert, I think he's playing himself for the number 1 pick at this point.
Huh?
I think the Dolphins might take that kid. Seriously. He is
Over
very,
Tua?
he is very good.
Over
Very
Tua?
good. But I think Washington could upset Utah. I think I like that kid Jacob Eason too. He's a good quarterback. He's 6'5". So Chicago, you need a
Stop
quarterback?
it.
We'll get into that obviously later.
Stop it.
All right, but I'm gonna go with Washington for the upset.
I'm going Utah.
Alrighty, next. Yeah, this is the next big matchup. You got number 15 SMU undefeated against the one
SMU by 7.
Memphis. 24. What'd you say?
SMU by 7.
SMU by 7. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna say SMU. I think it's the upset on this too. I think that team is just too.
But
good.
how is that an upset?
Or what do you mean?
How is SMU the upset team?
Well, because Memphis has the favorite in this.
That makes no sense.
That's what they're going with. Honestly,
Well, Vegas is a joke.
you got. I mean, how could you even say that? I mean, when you look at you got to remember they've got the kid from Texas that transferred there, and he's thrown for 26 touchdowns, 29 touchdowns. He's been all over the field. They beat down Houston. I know Memphis has a good defense, but I think SMU is going to come out of this. I say 20 points.
So do I.
I think SMU blows out this game. I think SMU goes for the upset.
Yeah. All right, next.
Number 7, Oregon versus USC. This would have been a big matchup had USC found a way to actually get themselves ranked. Unfortunately, USC, I think,
It's
is
still trash. They'll always be trash. They're never
still
going
trying
to
to
be
find
good.
an identity. If
They'll
Clay
never
Helton's
find
still-
an identity.
If
They're
Clay Helton
terrible.
If Clay Helton still has his job by the end of this game, I don't know what to tell you. Honestly, I think USC is at the point now where they're just going to have to hope for the best and rebuild, and they really better hope that this quarterback and wide receiver stuff actually works out in their favor. But I got Oregon winning this thing 4.5 points. I'm going to actually give them a larger leap. I'm going to say 17 points.
I'm going Oregon by 30,000.
You just want them to destroy USC, don't
Yeah,
you?
I hate USC, even though I need USC to win.
Yeah, it would look nice, but I think Oregon's going to handle this one relatively easily. But I wouldn't put it past them to have a close game either. So, but I'm going to say Oregon by 17.
All right, next topic.
Next.
That's all the games I
Oh,
got.
that's the only other one? Is there anyone you want to get to, Tom?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, cool. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're rolling into the next one here, so I hope you guys have really enjoyed this one. So moving on from there, obviously it's been a rough time here in Chicago, before we kind of get into some deeper things here with football and all that. Chicago's kind of witnessing some dark times because this might actually be the first time in I forgot how many years now. I couldn't exactly find the number for it, but this will be the first time in a long streak we've had where we have not had a team go into the playoffs in any pro sport that we've had. Out of the main four that we have produced through football, hockey,
Hey, it's still early in the
basketball,
NBA and
baseball.
NHL season.
No, yeah, I know it's still fairly early, but it's not. If things can keep progressing the way they are right now, it's not looking promising. It's not looking promising at all.
Team.
But no, so I got the three teams right now who are playing in season, obviously, to kind of take a look at what they've been doing, right? So you've got Chicago. We saw that game.
I called this game.
You were right. You were right. I mean, oh my God.
I had no hope.
I really, truly, honest to God, believed it. I had some resiliency. Now, I am proud to see David Montgomery come alive.
Yeah,
He
thanks
had
for
a
that pickup.
strong game. Yes, I know. I dropped him right at the perfect moment, apparently.
Picked him up Sunday.
Yeah. But no, David Montgomery, honestly, that's the kind of thing I was looking for.
Trubisky didn't
135
look
yards,
terrible.
A touchdown. What's up?
Trubisky didn't look terrible. What, he threw one interception and that one wasn't even a bad throw?
Yeah, but the problem is that with the one interception, you've got no touchdowns on the other side of this thing. He did not produce in the red zone, which is the biggest problem with this team. They did give him the chance. And every time he took the chance, he overthrew his receiver or he threw a little bubble screen, and they weren't able to break that line. So,
Yeah, because that's what the offensive coordinator's calling.
I mean, whether he calls it or not, I mean, the thing is that you have to remember that as a quarterback, you have to be able to get that ball in the end zone. He's only got 5 touchdowns. He's got the least amount of touchdowns of any quarterback that's started 5 games.
This is a sophomore slump. This is a sophomore slump.
But this is not a good sophomore slump. That's the problem.
No, but how many sophomore slumps have you seen that have been good?
I mean, well, that's
why
it's
they call
called
it the sophomore slump.
But this is where next year, if he doesn't make the quick turnaround by next year, which I'm very much leaning towards, like if that kid Jacob Eason from Washington is there, I say the Bears pick him up, have a quarterback competition with Trubisky, and try to figure this thing out. Because Eason looks like a quarterback that can actually play in the NFL. Right? I mean, that's just college, obviously trying to base it off to see if he's actually NFL ready. But Trubisky, I mean, look, he played well last year, but last year was Nagy's first year. We're seeing him now with Nagy in this year, and everybody's can see what Nagy's going to do. They can predict what he's going to do.
Okay.
So,
It's a learning experience for Nagy.
Yeah.
And for everybody out there who's freaking out why they took a kneel, I'm okay with that. I totally understand where he's coming from. I'd rather see them take that kneel the ball than run it or throw it and have a chance of it either being fumbled or picked off. Because at that point, everybody knows you're running the ball in that situation.
What kind of message did that send to your offense, though, too? Because you got to think about that. That's sending a message that says
sending to your
no
offense
confidence in the offense.
That's sending to your offense that you're willing to just go for the win. You want the win. You're not going to risk a chance.
If you're going to go for the win, then go for the touchdown.
No, don't go for the touchdown.
Yes, go for the touchdown.
No, you're in a spot where you know your kicker can make.
Let the offense score the touchdown.
Okay, and then they fumble the ball, and then what does that do to your offense?
Well, we lose the game either way if we kick that field goal or we fumble the ball. I mean, if and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, Tom. But we can't play that game, okay? We have to be able to go for the kill. And what message does that send to your offense? I mean, you look at that second half. There were guys that were in the wrong position. Trubisky can't get the snap off, and now you have to spike the ball to take a field goal instead of score a touchdown.
I'm okay with what they did. Eddie Pinheiro just shanked a kick. Big deal. We'll go into Philly, and we're going to stomp Philly because I hate that freaking organization.
We're gonna get killed by Philly.
Watch us win.
We are gonna get killed by Philly now. I'm telling you, man. I know you have confidence. I know what you're saying, but at the same time,
Hey,
you
when are
cannot
you gonna
just rely on your kicker.
Hey, when are you gonna realize? Stop doubting me.
What? I'm telling you right now. If we win that Philly game, I don't know what I'll do. But
Yeah, when are you gonna stop doubting me? Because you know I'm always right.
I don't know. But look, this was not a good game, obviously, for the Bears. My confidence is waning very slightly on this one. I don't trust the quarterback. I don't trust the head coach. The defense is frustrated.
You sound like all the losers Bears fans out there.
You got to score a touchdown in that situation. You can't just bank on a guy trying to kick some field goal.
Hey, when did Joe DiGiacomo come in here?
I'd rather have 7 than I'd have 3. Okay.
I'd rather have the 3 in the win.
40 seconds left on the clock.
Doesn't matter.
Go for it.
I totally understand where you did.
Yeah, whatever. All
Next.
right.
Bulls are terrible.
Makes me sad to talk about this. All right, yeah, the Bulls are 1-3 right now.
They're terrible.
They play tonight. There's no guarantee that this
now.
team's going to be getting any better. Their three-point shooting has been abysmal. Field goal percentage has been pretty up and down lately. I mean, look, right now Levine's leading the team with 21 points a game. He leads the team in assists. Kobe White's actually looked pretty decent. I mean, the guy's putting up points coming off the bench. They haven't started him right away. They've been giving a lot of starts to Sartansky. I'm saying his name wrong, I know.
Just start Kobe White. We'll be fine. Next.
No next just yet. Jesus, relax. Look, the Bulls, I mean, for what it is, I mean, they're a good, strong, young team, but the predictions that were being made on them were wildly outlandish. I mean, if this team wins 35 games, they're lucky. Lauri Markkanen shouldn't be playing the 4. He should be more of a small forward. You need to find a power forward that can actually play that position. Wendell Carter Jr. can't be taking threes. You shouldn't be allowing so many three-point shots coming from Levine. If he's got a mid-range game, go for the mid-range game. I mean, and if Kobe White's producing, put him in the starting lineup at this point and put him at point guard. I mean, for the love of God, if that other guy's not going to be able to get it done from Washington, go with White. Because right now he's the one producing a lot of points. I know his shooting's not really been up to par, but I think it can definitely get there. The Bulls have a chance, but they have a chance to possibly at least win 35 games if they're lucky. All I'm asking for is if you're going to suck, get somewhere in the top 10 for the lottery. That's all I'm asking for, okay?
They're not even going to win 12 games.
That's fine for me. And then we get the number 1 pick, and then we go get a nice little big man for us. All right. And finally, of course, you got the Blackhawks. Sitting at 3-6-2 right now on the season. I mean, look, their last 5 games have not been pretty whatsoever, right? It's a shootout loss to the Vegas Golden Knights.
That's still a point.
It's a lot. It's a point, but then you've got the loss to Philly. You've got a loss to Carolina. You finally pick up a win against LA, which, of course, it's just the Kings. They're in a bad spot already as it is. But then you lose a big one to Nashville. That's not good.
Jeremy Colleton has lost this locker room. He won't make it halfway through the season. Next.
And it's more than that. There's so many components wrong with this thing.
It's Jeremy Colleton.
I think the locker room doesn't trust him. Certainly, yes.
No,
but
Jeremy Colleton.
These guys are looking more and more like an aging team.
Here's the issue. Jeremy Colleton lost that whole locker room when he said that it's their work ethic, not him. His lines.
No, yeah,
That's when the locker room was lost. They will not play for him. They will not do anything for him. And what Stan Bowman's going to do is he's going to break up this team at the wrong moment, and it's going to hurt this organization even more.
Well,
so they need to fire Jeremy Colleton and go get someone different.
I mean, it's very possible, but at this point, I mean, they're looking. All those Hawks are now starting to look older. The young guys, they look like they've got some talent there. They've obviously moved off of Perlini. They were able to trade him, which is understandable because he was hurt for a majority of the preseason and then into the regular season too. So getting him off is fine, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know what's going to help this team. I don't know if anything can really help this team. Again, it is still early in the year, just like for the Bulls, it's still early in the year, but the promise is not looking good. The promise is still not looking good. Talented, certainly they've got talent.
We're done with this boring subject.
But
it's killing us. Next.
Yeah, we're slowly dying inside here in Chicago. You don't understand.
Next, we're going to football.
All right. Will you relax?
No, because we're slowly dying. We can't keep talking about
Yes,
this.
I am slowly dying because I'm inhaling these toxins in this
Then take
mask.
off the helmet.
No. All right, so we go to NFL Week 8. It's the Sunday and Monday in review, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we rapidly go through each and every game. We give you the kind of ups and downs of what happened through it and our thoughts on it. You ready to do this, Tom?
Yeah, let's do this quick.
All right, let's hit it. First game up, Seattle Seahawks 27, Atlanta Falcons 20. Falcons are bad. Obviously, not having Matt Ryan really
Seahawks aren't
affected
great.
them. What?
Seahawks aren't great.
Yeah, the Seahawks, look, they didn't play their best game. Obviously, Russell Wilson had a decent game, but he did not have his best game. But Chris Carson had a really nice running game. He sealed the touchdown. They gave him the win. Again, Matt Schaub stepped in pretty well. Didn't do fantastic, but this Atlanta team at this point, I don't know what you can do to save that coach's job. But at this point, Allen's probably going to get fired. They're going to have to revamp the whole team. People are going to get traded off. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Atlanta next year. All right, next. Philadelphia 31, Buffalo Bills 13.
No shocker.
Philadelphia exposed Buffalo for everything it's worth. I mean, Josh Allen did a pretty decent job. He threw 2 touchdowns, but he threw just at 50% or just under 50%. I can't fully remember. But, yeah, Philly was able to run all over them. I mean, between Howard and Sanders, they were able to have 170 yards rushing, right? I mean, 59 yards receiving. I mean, they put on a show. They put on a real show. Those guys were unbelievable. I mean, Carson Wentz is really good too. He threw in a touchdown. But, yeah, Philly, whew, man, who would have thought? All right, next. Yeah, New York Giants, 26.
Called it.
Detroit Lions, 31. Stafford and Daniel Jones. Who would have thought we'd seen a shootout between those two? Jones had a really good game, 4 touchdowns, over 300 passing yards. Meanwhile, you got Stafford, who threw for over 300 yards as well, threw 3 touchdowns and an interception. I mean, look, Detroit, they look like they're in a strong place now where they could really move up in the division at this point, especially with the way things are looking for the Bears, obviously. This is a great opportunity for Detroit to really start moving in there. I mean, for what the Giants have, the future looks bright. At least they got Leonard Williams in that trade with the New York Jets, so there's some sort of a positive outlook. They're looking at least for the future, and the future is looking a little bit brighter. All right, next. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Tennessee Titans.
Called it.
I mean, Jesus, this game, I don't even know what to say. Tannehill threw a couple of touchdowns that looked pretty nice. Jameis Winston, I couldn't even put him in there because he's still the king of the turnovers. My God, is exactly right. Evans, though, I mean, look, if he was on any other team at this point, if he were on the Patriots, they would be destroying teams. I think he would even make Miami better. That's the truth. I think he could actually make the Miami Dolphins have 2 or 3 wins on the season, believe it or not. That's how good Mike Evans really is. And for what he did, he absolutely gets MVP for this game. But kudos to Tennessee. They stay alive, obviously, in the division. Next. Denver Broncos 13, Indianapolis Colts 15. This was a fun game. Jacoby Brissett had that really nice pass towards the end of the game that kind of sealed it up so that Adam Vinatieri could kick that game-winning field goal, which was a beautiful thing. That thing went flying through. Marlon Mack had a really good game, though. He was able to set up the Colts in a very fun fashion. You had Royce Freeman. Denver didn't have a lot of positive moments. Royce Freeman was really kind of it. He had the only touchdown coming for the Denver Broncos. But Indianapolis, I got to give it to them. They may not win beautifully, but they win, and that's what counts. Next. Cincinnati Bengals, oh, God, I can't even read that. Cincinnati Bengals 10, Los Angeles Rams 24.
Are we shocked?
We shouldn't be, but holy cow. I mean, if you need a cup for your tea, Cooper Kupp is that guy. 7 receptions, 220 yards, and a touchdown. He was all over the field that night in London. My God, the Bengals stood no chance. I'll give it to Andy Dalton just because, obviously, the guy got benched. For those who don't know, Ryan Finley will be the new quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, look, he didn't have a terrible game, but he did not have a game that obviously won it for the Bengals. And I wouldn't be surprised if they move off him after this summer. And there's some teams out there looking for quarterbacks, I'm just saying. Not mentioning us, I'm saying other ones. All right, next. Arizona Cardinals 9, New Orleans Saints 31. I mean, are we come on. Drew Brees comes back. He throws 3 touchdowns, throws for over 300 yards. Somebody left him on his bench when he should have started him, obviously. But that's the idiot's problem, not anybody else's. For the other side of things, I mean, look, Kyler Murray didn't play too bad, but obviously they didn't get into the end zone. All they had to do was just kick field goals, and that Saints defense did a really good job putting pressure on him all night. New Orleans, I think, could actually win the NFC at this point. I think they're going to probably be there at the Super Bowl, and this will be a chance to see Tom Brady versus Drew Brees in the Super Bowl. Something that I've been looking forward to. I know Tom said he's looking forward to. I think a lot of people would really like to see that one play out.
Yeah, let's go.
Absolutely. All right, next. Yeah, New York Jets 15, Jacksonville Jaguars 29. I mean,
How do you bring back Nick Foles after he comes back in a few weeks over Gardner Minshew? Jesus.
that's the problem is that Gardner Minshew, my God, this guy is fantastic. If you're not going to pull the trigger on this guy being your starting quarterback, you better do something with Nick Foles. You didn't trade him at the deadline because nobody wants that contract because nobody knows how good he is. And obviously he's coming off of a pretty serious injury, and we don't know how he's actually going to be. But he played, 3 touchdowns, for what he did. Gardner Minshew right now is the hot hand, and I'm telling you, he could get Jacksonville to a position where they could actually pull this off. You never know. That team's starting to come together. Meanwhile, for the Jets, you almost...
They're listening to talks for Le'Veon Bell.
Well, the trade deadline's passed at this point. But
Doesn't mean they're still not listening for the offseason.
they tried to trade Jamal Adams, though, to the Dallas Cowboys. Jamal Adams is very upset about that. Le'Veon Bell was hearing that he was going to get traded. He seemed like he wasn't even impressed by that at all. So I think this New York Jets team, they're dead in the water, don't get me wrong. But for Sam Darnold,
dead.
he didn't have the worst year, but at least he wasn't seeing ghosts this time. That's for sure. All right, next. Oh, my God. Yeah,
Are we shocked? Next.
Carolina Panthers 13, San Francisco 49ers 51. Garoppolo's not a good quarterback, but at least he got 2 touchdowns.
I told you.
He's not a good quarterback, but he did get 2 touchdowns, so I got to give him that. He managed the game well. Tevin Coleman, again, for an idiot who left him on the bench, should have started him. 4 total touchdowns, ran 3 in, scored another one receiving. This 49ers team, Kyle Shanahan might be the greatest coach in the NFC right now, by far. Next, there is no contest, I don't think. He is
Bill Belichick?
in the NFC.
Okay, fair enough.
Who's a better coach than him right now? He's got the only undefeated team in the NFC.
That's fine.
I can't even see Matt LaFleur as a great coach, But as far as, he's in the conversation, I would say, as a top 3 coach right now.
No, it's definitely Bill
Andy
Belichick
Reid,
and
Kyle
Kyle
Shanahan.
Shanahan.
Belichick, Andy Reid,
Sean
Kyle
Payton.
Shanahan.
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. All right, so I don't even know. Maybe I'd put Sean Payton behind him.
No.
I don't know.
It's Sean Payton, dude. Come on.
All right. At least he's in the top 4 conversation. Let's say
Yeah,
that.
that's fine. Fair enough.
Can we say that? All right.
I have him at 2.
Yeah. But Christian McCaffrey, he did what he did best. I called this one, too. I said they would lose, but I said McCaffrey would have over 100 rushing yards.
Didn't get a touchdown, though.
He did, yeah. But I will say, though, too, he did expose the 49ers where their weakness is, but that team at the same time looks like it still has no weakness. It's weird. All right, next. Yeah, this was not shocking either. You got the New England Patriots beating the Cleveland Browns 27-13.
Next.
You can say what you want. I don't know what's going on with this team. You can say the coach, you can say the quarterback, you can say I think it's all coming from the top down.
It's Freddie Kitchens. Jesus Christ, just fire him.
I think it's coming from John Dorsey, the GM, and working its way down. I think he's the poison in the tree that's seeping it through to the roots.
And they're holding Baker back. I hate the
They're
people.
holding that whole team back.
I hate the people out there that are like, "Oh, Baker's a terrible quarterback." The same thing with Nagy. Same thing with Trubisky. We truly don't know what Trubisky is because we don't see what he can do. Let them go out and do what they do best. Let them play the way that they played in college a little bit, and let's see what they truly can do.
Yeah, it's tough because look, do I think Baker's still a really good quarterback? Yeah, I'm gonna give it to him. I think he's still a really good quarterback, but at the same time, I honestly have no idea if he's the future or not for the Browns, but I know this right now. The Browns aren't looking too hot. Again, I'm not going to say I already said my piece with Chicago. Not going to go there. But Nick Chubb had a really nice day. Tom Brady did what he did best. He got the ball to Julian Edelman a couple times. And the New England Patriots were able to stay in this one. Obviously, that defense did a really good job tracking them down. So
All right, next.
give it to them. All right, next.
No shocker.
There it is.
Next.
Houston Texans 27 against the Oakland Raiders 24. Give it to the Raiders. At least they kept themselves in the game. Derek Carr played a pretty decent game, but he threw a lot of bad passes in that one as well. Deshaun Watson, I don't know how you throw that ball after your helmet's been spun, you've been kicked in the eye, and you're almost falling, and you still throw a touchdown pass. But he's on a next level type of stuff. He's a really good quarterback. I mean, if the Texans have a long, bright future with this kid, there's no doubt. But good on the Houston Texans. They got a still chance to be able to compete with the Indianapolis Colts for the division. All right. And that's the big matchup that everybody was looking for.
Hey.
What?
How'd that quarterback do for Kansas City?
He did fine.
Yeah. Did better than what you thought.
Yeah, I'll say that, which says two things. One,
I was right.
I guess that says three things. Tom was right on that part. Andy Reid's offense can work for just about any quarterback, so that's obviously why Patrick Mahomes. Look, Mahomes is good, but this just goes to show that Andy Reid probably is one of the best offensive coaches ever to exist.
But again, though, for everybody out there who says we could have drafted Mahomes, who knows if he would have been Mahomes with the Bears? Like, Jesus, calm down with all that.
Yeah, there's that too. But yeah, Matt Moore, I mean, look, for a guy that was coaching high school football last year, coming in and was a really good game, right? But obviously Green Bay did what they did best. But the other thing in here, Green Bay's defense got exposed big time. Big time. So that defense maybe not as good as we thought it was.
No, we knew that.
But it's a good win for Green Bay nonetheless. They still go stay with one loss. So, all right. And there should be one more? Yeah, there it is. So this was the Monday night matchup.
They're tanking. They're literally just tanking.
Look.
I want investigations done.
Miami had the lead at the half, 14-10, and then all of a sudden it disappeared. Everybody said, where did it go? It went right into the pockets of Brian Flores and the GM and all those guys as they put this season away in their pockets and they save it for a rainy day so they can pull it out when they get the number 1 overall draft pick, and they go draft probably Justin Herbert, whoever the new quarterback is. I'll say this, Mason Rudolph, I thought, played a really good game. I think Pittsburgh's going to potentially find a way to put themselves back in the division. I don't think they're going to win the division because Baltimore's done a really good job at playing well, and I think they're going to run away with it. But I think Pittsburgh can actually keep themselves in the hunt to some degree, especially if Baltimore loses a few more games. And that's going to do it here for the review of the week, guys. I hope you did enjoy that. If you guys have any comments on any of the stuff that we've talked about thus far, you guys can comment down below. Let us know what you guys think. All right. So let's transition into this last one, and then we're getting the heck out of here, ladies and gents.
Yeah, I really want to talk about this.
2019 World Series, Game 7. I was wrong. Tom was wrong. It's going to a Game 7.
We were wrong on the games.
Wait,
hold on.
What?
We were wrong on the games. We haven't been wrong on who's going to win it. But I'm telling you right now I'm right because history was made last night.
Yes, it was. It was... For Steven Strasburg, that was a big night.
Oh, no, not even that.
What?
This is the first time in MLB, NHL, NBA history that the road team has won first six games.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And it's been 1,426 games. Mm-hmm. So this is the first Game 7 that the home team has never won a game.
Yeah. Look, this series has been...
Also, Strasburg might have made it. Will most likely have made history last night, too, as the first player to go 5-0 for his whole playoff career, or for his playoff season. No other pitcher's ever done that.
I thought it was Randy Johnson was the only other one.
Nope.
All right.
Well, no other pitcher's done that.
All right. Well, look, there you go, ladies and gents. Look, this is a matchup that, at this point now, it's Max Scherzer versus Zach Greinke. This is...
2 Cy Young winners.
This is the first time ever that 2 Cy Young winners will be facing each other in Game 7. This has been a historic matchup. This is what baseball is all about. And when this ends...
Didn't Greinke ever pitch for the Tigers?
No. Greinke never pitched for the Tigers.
I know he pitched for the Brewers.
Yes, but no, he never pitched for the Tigers, no. But no, this is for it. This is what it's all about, ladies and gents. If you're not a baseball fan, this is the moment that it all lives up to. Game 7s are where it's at.
Yeah, in any sport.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about Scherzer, you're talking about Greinke, 2 great pitchers.
You're talking Rendon, Altuve, Zimmerman, Soto. You're talking about them all. Like, this is literally though. You know what? I want to hold off on Game 7. I want to talk about that terrible play and how Joe Girardi Joe Torre, who was sitting in the stands yesterday, could have helped the umps in that situation, and he didn't. He just sat back and did nothing.
Yeah, for those who don't know what he's talking about, Trey Turner had run inside the base path, and they had called runner interference. And Dave Martinez was so furious and hot about the moment that he actually got ejected from the game.
In between innings.
In between innings, yes. Which, by the review of the footage, it doesn't look like runner interference from my eyes.
No, it doesn't. Everybody I've talked to that is our generation agrees with us. Everybody from older generations doesn't.
Well, no, not everybody. I'll say this: my dad didn't agree with that call either. He thought that was the wrong call. That it was no runner interference on that.
If the Astros would have won yesterday, I can tell you right now, MLB would have a big issue on their hands.
Yeah, they definitely might. I mean, there definitely would have been a grievance filed from the Washington Nationals.
But
that's for sure.
For the fact that Joe Torre was sitting there and trying to hide, tells me a lot about his status with the MLB.
Yeah. I mean, look, this was one of those games, ladies and gentlemen. Game 6 was one of those games where a lot of things could have been on the line. Where yes, if the Nationals win it, they go to Game 7, as it has happened. Of course, they won that game 7-2 and progressed on, and now we've got a great Game 7. But if the Houston Astros would have won that one, there would have been a lot of outcry on that game because of that play, particularly because of that
don't make that call. The home plate umpire doesn't make that call. You make that a reviewable play.
Yeah.
I have no problem if you're going to call that a reviewable play and it turns out to be the right call that it shouldn't have counted.
Right.
But whatever, I don't get paid to make that money or make that decision. But
yeah, no, it's unfortunate.
And it's not only that. It's that called strike 3 that Garrett Cole got in Game 5. Like, how are you gonna call that a strike? It was clearly out of the strike zone.
That's the umps, man. That's umps and refs. I mean, it's not a good year for umpires and referees, man. It's just not a good year for umpires and referees, really. But honestly, you know what? Good to the Washington Nationals. You force a Game 7. This is going to be a really big one, ladies and gents. I can't wait to see this matchup tonight. So
Anthony
please,
Rendon,
if you got a chance to watch it.
World Series MVP.
Who I think is going to be World Series MVP?
I got Anthony Rendon. Or Juan Soto.
I'm going to say, you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if I say Correa.
No, I'm going with my 2, Juan Soto or Anthony Rendon. By the way,
I would say Juan Soto for Washington if they win it, certainly.
By the
Juan
way,
Soto, I think, is going to get it.
Fun fact before we get out of here, because we really do need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Addison Russell has the most RBIs in a single World Series game.
Yes, he does.
6.
Yes.
Anthony Rendon has 5.
And as long as that's all he hits is just the ball,
Shut up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, comment down below. Let us know what you think. Who's going to win this World Series if you can. It starts in an hour. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, or 20 minutes, whatever it is. With that, ladies and gentlemen, though, we got to get out of here. So, guys, first things first before we get into anything, yes, we're in November. We're doing Movember.
Mustache will be here by Saturday. I am shaving tomorrow. I will have the mustache for Saturday. For everybody out there who's like, oh, he's not going to participate. No, I will. I'm going to grow the mustache. It's going to look beautiful and sexy.
Yeah, so I don't even know if I don't know.
I'll just buy you mustaches, dude.
What?
I'll just buy you a couple mustaches.
Yeah, do that. Cause I don't really want to shave, to be honest. I'm just gonna what?
Just shave the little goatee.
I've tried, but it always comes out wonky.
So?
I might need to get it professionally done. But yeah, guys, so we're doing this thing called Movember. If you guys haven't found it, it's an app, actually. You guys can go download it.
You can search it online.
Yes, you can go search it online. You guys can join our team at XBomb Sports, where we are supporting the cause for men's health, mental health, and physical health for testicular cancer and suicide primarily. But it covers all men's health. So we are growing out mustaches. There's all types of ways that you can donate. You can do walks, all this type of stuff. We haven't set our goal just yet, but we'll fill you guys in more on that stuff as it comes along. But we're doing this to do something a little bit more for charity, especially since November's coming up, and this was approached to me. Tom found it, and I thought it was a really good idea, so we're going to go with that. But, yeah, so make sure to go and support that. Make sure to go and follow us, join the team, donate whatever money you can. We'd really appreciate that, guys.
Even if it's a penny.
Yes, even if it's just a penny. And we'll also be posting that on our Facebook as well. We'll be posting it on our Facebooks as well because we can share our profiles and all that kind of stuff. All right. Well, guys, if you do want to check us out, obviously you can find us on Facebook. Go to our Facebook, facebook.com/Team X-Bomb Sports, where you guys can go check us out there. Seasons 1 and 2 are up there. Seasons 3 is right here on our YouTube channel. So make sure to go support us there, definitely. Ooh, excuse me. I had a burp coming up. If you guys want to follow us on our Twitter and our Instagram at XBombSports. That's the same for both. And so make sure to go follow us there. We're always reposting the show and things like that. Also, too, guys, if you also want to find us, make sure to go find us on our other Twitter page at XBP_official. That is the X-Bomb Productions Twitter page as well. Yep, there's the Facebook one again at Team X-Bomb Sports as well. But we haven't put up that Twitter one yet either, but I'm going to put that one up eventually at some point. Also, too, guys, we have putting up points. Unfortunately, Jake and Tyler. Jake may be coming back for the show. We're not yet, but I just want to say really quickly before we get out of here, Tyler Prickett unfortunately will not be with us for an indefinite amount of time. Unfortunately, he's kind of going through stuff, but I just want to say personally, Tyler, thank you so much for all the hard work and everything that you gave us, man. Really appreciate it. Wish you could still be here with us, man. We love you very much, man. You got a place here in the family no matter what. So, man, thank you so much. And also,
Boom
I know
shakalaka.
What's up?
Boom shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka, absolutely. And I know it's super late, man, but again, happy birthday too. I just want to say that also. But thanks, man. I appreciate it. But, obviously, if Jake does come back, guys, we will be doing the putting up points with him as well on Saturdays every day from 12 to 2. Not every day. Every Saturday from 12 to 2 on SportsTownChicago.com or on the Facebook page, Sportstown Chicago. All right, and you guys can also find us on our YouTube page here at X-Bomb Productions. Make sure to like and comment on all the good stuff. Leave some questions and comments down below on any of the videos that you want to see. We always go through them. We always try and check and make sure and see if anybody got anything like that. All right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, if you were kind of wondering, yep, we got your pumpkin here for you. Here you go. It says student loans on it. No, it looks a little moldy and stuff. But, yeah, we went with the scariest thing we could put on a pumpkin, and it was student loans. So how about that? And the other side is a carved face, because my mother doesn't know how to not carve things. All right, and also, too, obviously, you can find me at The Fluffy Guru on Twitter. Find me at Boom Crew Captain on Instagram. Tom, where they can find you?
Yeah, Mig116193, where I just argue with people.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, don't get into an argument with Tom because he's need to. And make sure if you do, tell him if he starts swearing to watch his fingers. I love that one, and we're gonna keep using it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta get out of this thing. I gotta get this thing off my head somehow. It's hot. It smells bad in here. But as always, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Much love. Damn it. Peace out, Boom Crew.